Minor unknown said, "Hello chat."
The tour is over, and it's time for some rest.
Welcome. How can I help you?
Hello there. It's my first time visiting the Dreamscape, so I wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs for my friends back home. My two friends here are more familiar with the Dreamscape and recommended your shop, so I'm here to take a look.
Why, you really know how to flatter. Go ahead. Browse all you like.
First we have Lady Fuxuan of the Divination Commission. What do you think best suits her?
Did you pick that because of her third eye?
A meticulously thought out and interesting suggestion. It'll make for a novel gift. Let's go with that. Next is General Jing Yuan.
That's not your decision to make.
That's the kind of treasure I've always yearned for. But the General's position won't allow him to accept such a gift. Clock Studios theme park to learn more about the history of the planet of festivities. I think the General will like this gift. Finally, we have Lady Bailu of the Alchemy Commission. She loves excitement. That's a good idea. It might be commonplace, but it's still the specialty of Penacony. It would make for an ideal gift to bring home. That's all of them. Please wrap them up for me. Thanks to both your help, everything went smoother than I expected. And it looks like we still have some time to spare.
Why don't we pay another visit to the Dreamscape sales store? You can find memory bubbles pretty much anywhere, but Penacony's dream bubbles are extraordinary. Even if we don't get them as gifts, we can keep them as souvenirs for ourselves.
A souvenir for myself? That's definitely an idea I can get behind. But there's one more thing I wish to do. Since this is our last stop, could I have a word with you two in private? Perhaps somewhere more secluded. I'd like to discuss a personal matter.
Everything you want, we have it all.
This is a good spot.
Miss Ting Yoon, what's this about?
You've looked out for me during our travels together these past few days. I'm truly grateful and can't thank you enough. But there are some things I find difficult to forget. I feel it's only right that I tell you what's on my mind before we part ways. Do you two still remember what it was like when you first saw me?
How could we forget? He was so shocked. He was frozen in place when he shouted.
Exactly. And that's precisely why I haven't been able to shake off this strange feeling in the days since I started traveling with you. When I asked for your names, I couldn't help but think that this first encounter was actually a long-awaited reunion for you. I've heard about what happened to you on the Xianzhou. And I've got to admit that Fantilia's disguise was so perfect, it was like another me tricking everyone.
Yeah, we couldn't even tell when you were replaced by Fantilia. I figured it happened when we were after Kafka. You vanished for a while. I thought you must have come back as a double.
But it was much earlier than that. That thought has me filled with sorrow. As if a piece of my life had been stolen away, and I had no part in it. That's what I've been puzzled about, too. I never actually saw how Fantilia managed to disguise herself as me. What was your impression of that Tingyun, if you recall? That's just the nature of the Foxians. It's widely known that mystery is the key to our allure. So, what did she seem like to you? I'll just assume that's a compliment. Maybe next time you could just say silver-tongued. Was there anything particularly memorable?
That's true. I'd love to learn how you do it.
Now the final question. In your eyes, am I just like the Tingyun you remember?
Wait, don't you find that question a bit weird? You're the real Tingyun. Why compare yourself to an imposter?
Miss March, you might have the wrong idea. I'm just feeling a mix of regret and relief.
Uh-huh.
As a merchant, staying well-informed is crucial. It's only natural for me to stay updated on the events of the Lofi before I return. If I had rushed in and out back then, I wouldn't have been much help. Instead, I would have postponed the trip and sought assistance from allies, but in that case...
We wouldn't have crossed paths.
Exactly. Based on your description, that Lord Ravager was indeed cunning. Her demeanor mirrored mine so closely that it felt like she was living my life for a few days, rather than merely disguising herself. I regret missing out on your Sanjo journey. But everything that unfolded afterward, aside from the scheming, played out exactly as if I'd been there. This leads me to consider another possibility. Phantilia had stolen a piece of my life, and a Foxian always gets even. I will not be taken advantage of. I must take something back from her as well. But after thinking it over, the only thing that could be considered equal value is the bond I have with all of you. That thought has brought me great comfort. And now I know how to speak to you properly. We've never even met before, and here you are, offering your help, just as before. I should have treated you with respect, but fear of Phantilia made me act like somebody else. And now, I will reclaim everything I have lost. And it should begin with a proper acknowledgement. Dear benefactors, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you. Looks like we're off to a good start. Moving forward, I'll definitely be trying more things like this from now on. And you, my dear benefactors, will be my source of courage.
Miss Tingyun, that's way too over the top. Just don't make any risky decisions. It might overwhelm him.
We'll see. I just hope the Tingyun in your memories won't be tainted by Phantilia anymore. All right, no more questions. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let's continue on our way.
Welcome to the Dreamscape Sales Store. Dr. Edward at your service.
We're looking for some dreams to give as gifts. Something exotic and preferably captivating.
And just a friendly reminder, being too picky would help you find the best dream. Just to dampen your spirits ahead of time. That being said, there are always some lucky exceptions. Not too long ago, I procured a dream bubble that sounds perfectly. The story unfolds in the Shenzhou Alliance, where a young swordmaster strives to become the sword champion. However, his junior Foxian sword just turned 100, puts him in a tough spot.
Why does that sound oddly familiar?
Since I'm returning to the Xianzhou, I think it's better to choose something unrelated to the Alliance. Feel free to pick a few for me.
I love customers like you. So easy to work.
So easy to take advantage of, you mean? Just don't pick anything weird, okay?
Oh, speaking of dreamscapes, I have a gift for you, my benefactors. After troubling you all this time, I couldn't leave without properly expressing my thanks. Here's a dream bubble for you. I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. That's really nice of you.
Here are the dream bubbles I've prepared for you. Thank you for your business.
Well, it looks like everything's finally in order. I suppose it's time to head back?
Can't believe it's time for Miss Ting Yoon to leave. I'm not ready to say goodbye just yet. Yeah, we got delayed on the way. Mr. Yang will explain in detail when he gets back. Has the messenger from the Xianzhou arrived yet?
Long time no see, everyone.
Madame Yukong?
I've imagined this moment many times. I was worried I might embarrass myself in front of you. I even rehearsed every word beforehand. But now it seems it was unnecessary. Ting Yun, I'm here to take you home.
Madame Yukong, I wasn't expecting it to be you. What a wonderful surprise.
I wanted to come because, after all, it's you who's coming home.
Yeah, me of all people.
Your body, it's going to be tough from now on, isn't it?
I've already escaped death once. What more could I ask for? Also, it's not all bad. I might even beat you at arm wrestling now.
You're still the same, carefree as always. I have a lot I'd like to tell you, but I'll save it for the road. It's a long journey back to the Lofi. Even if we can't completely rid you of the pain, there must be ways to alleviate it on the Xianzhou.
I have no doubt. But since we're alone here, may I ask you one more thing? Do I really have to go back to the Lofi?
Why? You don't want to?
Despite Fantilia's ruthlessness, she spared me when I should have been eliminated. And why did Miss Ron May, who has no ties to the Xianzhou, go out of her way to save me? It seems as if I've become a pawn in someone else's game.
There are people within the Alliance who also believe that the suspect is now on the Yuchua.
If that's the case, it's all the more reason for me not to return to the Lofi and complicate things. I might as well take advantage of this situation.
Take advantage of the situation? What do you mean?
Right now, the marks of ruin inside me maintain a delicate balance. Moreover, they were created by Fantilia herself. If possible, please inform the General and arrange for me to meet with the Marshal. Maybe this body of mine can help the Alliance get one step closer to the Xianzhou's enemies.
When Ron May visited the Lofi earlier, she mentioned what happened to you. This coincided with when the message sent by the Astral Express arrived. The Arbiter Generals concluded that Fantilia did not intend for you to survive. If utilized strategically, this could give the Alliance an element of surprise. If we follow this plan, we must keep your resurrection hidden. But before making any decisions, I want to know what you think. If you wish to go home, I'll support you, no matter what others may say.
Then I'm glad. I shall save you the trouble of hearing what those people may say.
The road ahead is perilous. If you decide to take it, I won't stop you. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I still want to know. Are you choosing this because it's what you really want?
I've come to see myself clearly in this dream journey. Perhaps it's what people call a blessing in disguise. There is someone who can attest to my true intentions. Please follow me. She should be around here somewhere.
Is that...
After a strange encounter, I was fragmented into multiple Tingyuns, each embodying a different aspect of my memories. And one of them hasn't returned to me, because she ventured too far. Until now.
You mean her? What is she doing?
She's captivated by something that has deeply mesmerized me. As a fleeting emotion, she's no different from a newborn. Her boarding this ship was solely down to her inner impulse. Madame Yukong, do you remember? Perhaps that was just an ordinary flight for you, but for a certain child, that was her first experience with the sky.
Of course I remember. Back then, you were still young enough for me to carry.
You probably still can. Want to give it a try?
I'm afraid you'd be too heavy for me now.
Just kidding.
I remember you kept begging me to take you to the star skiff, and even dreamed of becoming a pilot. But once you were airborne, you were so nervous that you clung to others for dear life.
This flight was a turning point in my life. The boundless cosmos unfolded before me. I was completely mesmerized, not just by the view, but by a realization. In this world, there are paths beyond waiting for us to explore. Even though I lacked the talent to pilot the star skiff and wasn't much of a warrior, I still chose to travel around with the Merchant Guild. Even to this day, this thrill still courses through me.
That hasn't changed?
Never. Now I can embark once more on my journey as a traveler of no return, exploring the paths that lie beyond. Speaking of which, how are things with the Whistling Flames?
I've left Yan Ming in charge for now. He's reliable, but he can be a bit extreme, and might not always follow your principles as a traveling merchant.
My principles. Forsake what others fight for and take what others abandon. That's the way to navigate the world and achieve my goals. I will continue to uphold my principles. But now I've also learned that while these merchant principles may apply to humans, they falter in the face of the gods.
But this shouldn't fall on your shoulders to begin with. You are simply an innocent survivor in this war.
Madame Yukong, you were once a survivor in the war too, weren't you? In a hazy dream, I vaguely remember someone telling me that the inescapable price of survival is often more adversity. But, Madame Yukong, the gods use humans as pawns in their cosmic game, sacrificing countless innocent souls. Have you ever thought about making them pay?
Every moment of every day. But as inconsequential as we are, how can we escape the fate of being mere pawns? If I could choose, I would never want you to become a pawn. I just wish you could still be that carefree little fox, not caught up in this war.
Don't be disheartened, Madame Yukong. Thanks to the favor of the Lord Ravager, I've become a player in this game. Remember, it's often the unassuming pawns, the lone traveler, or the worm that subdues the dragon, that leave even the best strategists helpless. So, now I'll become a cunning speck of dust, and make those masterminds behind the curtains sneeze a few times.
Is this place also affected by the Order?
No, I'm just here to bid farewell. I changed my mind along the way. This journey has too many variables, so it shouldn't matter if we add another.
How did you know she would be here?
I didn't. I had a hunch and decided to try my luck. It seems I can be lucky sometimes.
It's not like you to leave things to luck.
I'm trying to change too.
I don't think you need a bystander in this scenario. Go on ahead.
You're not worried I'll take the opportunity to escape?
I believe you're the kind of person that has the ability and desire to use everything to your advantage. But that everything does not include Miss Robin.
Thank you.
Now then, Mr. 1 Week.
I'm not leaving. No way.
Let him stay. He won't be in the way. I actually need 1 week to be there. She shouldn't be seen talking to a fugitive, no matter the circumstances.
You don't intend to reveal your true identity to her?
Both parties don't have to be aware that this is a farewell. I shouldn't put her at risk for my selfishness.
As you wish.
Shall we go then?
Let's go. Our journey can't begin if I can't take this first step. Didn't expect to see you here, Miss Robin.
My name is 1 Week. I'm a member of the Nightingale family.
You're too kind, Miss Robin. You must be very busy. What brings you here to Dream's Edge? Well, perhaps the dreamscape is not so different from reality. When we look up into the night sky, the stars aren't really there. The glimmering lights we see are merely the images of stars from long ago. So, have we ever truly seen a real sky full of stars? No. Today is my rest day. There's going to be a show later, so I came early to find a good seat. It's somewhere farther away. They say it's a farewell performance. The kind that's better to listen to from afar than watch it performed live. Miss Robin, may I stay here with you to gaze at the stars before the show begins? Still, these stars are unfamiliar to me. I don't recognize any of them, and it makes me feel uneasy. Perhaps it's both. The Stellaron disaster may not have had any real consequences, but many guests still chose to check out. Now the hotel feels quieter than before. It makes me wonder what Penacony's future will be like. I just hope it will not negatively affect you, Miss Robin. Did the person you wanted to say them to leave? Sometimes, what's in your heart doesn't need to be dressed up in words. Maybe he already knows what you wanted to say. If you don't mind me asking, who is it that you wish to encourage? There are many such people on Penacony. Failure is like the setting sun to a dream chaser. It's something that happens every day. I believe they all have the willpower to start anew. Especially after receiving a smile from you, Miss Robin. Are you saying that's not true? Failure may be a good thing for someone like that. Being able to reflect on one's actions is a valuable quality to have. Why is that? I hope so. The dream jigsaw. I see. I'll do my best. I'm still inexperienced, so let's just hope we get lucky. It seems we've been blessed with good fortune today. Another Dreamweaver probably left this behind. It's a habit for this profession. They hope to use these blessings as a foundation for the dreamscape. The second jigsaw piece. Is this a pair of wings or a decoration made of feathers? We should keep looking. It's done. Have a look. Soon, I shall travel to those unfamiliar stars, none of which I recognize. But as long as you continue to gaze upon them from here, then those unfamiliar stars will one day be the place of our reunion.
That didn't seem like a perfect goodbye.
It's enough. I only meant to stay quietly by her side for a bit. But why did you do those unnecessary things?
What things?
Those 2 notes. If someone finds them, they can be used as evidence again.
So you can do whatever you want as many times as you want, but I can't. I don't want to live with regret for the rest of my life either.
Live with regret.
We're almost done saying our goodbyes, right?
Yes, we only have one last stop. But before we leave, I have a question I'd like to ask you, Mr. Yang. I'm curious. Why did you become a nameless?
Why the sudden interest?
I always had a feeling that you would never give up on someone who needed help. After spending time with you, I'm even more convinced of this assessment. At this very moment, there are countless worlds above the sky still waiting for the arrival of the Astral Express. Yet you and your companions have chosen to stay here. All for an old friend you never knew, and a notorious fugitive. To trailblaze means to forge ahead. Yet, you stop and spend precious time on people just passing by. All the while you believe this is the natural course of action?
That's not what I think at all. Besides, the watchmaker also made a similar choice.
And because of that, he bid farewell to the Express and never walked among the stars again in his lifetime.
Not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if we leave the Express, some trailblazing paths will still continue. You can think of it this way. The title of Nameless doesn't belong to any one person. Each individual will have their own view of what it means to walk this path and will always try their best, no matter the situation. The goal of my trailblazing is not the unknown world, but every living being who exists under the stars. In my homeland, the name Welt means world. It suggests that each person is a world unto themselves, and that we harbor as many possibilities as the distant stars. The connections I gain on my journey are what is most precious to me. This is my way of the trailblaze, and the reason why I decided to stay here.
Why me?
Like I said before, I left my home in a hurry too. I know how you feel right now. I also know that a person will only be able to truly face themselves once they've decided to say goodbye to their past, the same way you're doing right here, right now. There was never a third person with us, was there?
I told you he'd find out.
should have known nothing could escape your keen eyes. Since you already know 1 week's secret, there's no need for me to build up suspense. Let's go. We'll head straight for the finale and take our final bow in this farewell performance.
Looks like you have a new plan. I'll wait to see what happens.
I know you can hide your appearance, but trespassing on restricted family grounds is still a bold move.
Don't worry, I won't take too much time. I was a child when I first visited the Grand Theater. I remember seeing the light behind the curtains from here and believing it to be the morning star guiding me toward the land of the dreams. When I returned here many years later as the head of the Oak family, I finally learned that the light was actually a Stellaron.
Now that you've returned to the stage, what are you planning to do?
Prepare for my departure. I've always believed that a person's starting point should also be his last stop. Have you ever seen the elderly at the end of their lives? As they welcome their final moments, they invariably raise their hands, stretching their arms into the emptiness. Much like how babies also stretch their arms into the air when they are first born. Humanity, flaps their wings twice as they complete their journey. Once when they are born, and once when they die. In order to flap my own wings and soar again. I will say goodbye, here, to the me of yesterday. I really hate this face. My expressions feel so dull and lifeless.
I see. That explains why something always felt off about your appearance. The halo above your head that symbolizes the harmony. It's been missing since the moment we reunited.
It's true that this ring was bestowed upon our people by the heavens. But that doesn't mean it can't be thrown away. While I was in the gallery of thoughts, at the entrance of the dream, I chose to completely sever the halo from myself.
Why?
I am a fugitive, after all. I must remove any chance of being detected by the family. Another reason is to feel pain. A pain like falling from the sky with broken wings that can keep me awake. This is how I can cast aside all the blessings of the harmony and the order and, for the first time in my life, enter the sweet dream as an ordinary person.
Is that also how Mr. One Week came into this world?
No. You wouldn't believe the real story even if he told you. He was born from an accident. One that you're actually quite familiar with. It was that try not to laugh challenge. Quite embarrassing, to be honest. I was roaming around as an ordinary person when I unfortunately fell into that Pepeshi's trap. The prank that fragmented Miss Ting-Yun also divided my fragile self into two.
Are you saying that he's a part of you? That's quite surprising given that you two look nothing alike.
You could say he's another possibility of me. I too was once a child, with aspirations buried deep within. Over time, those childhood voices grew increasingly faint. Maybe if I had made a small change in my childhood, I would have turned out to be exactly like him. What a pity, failing to become a better version of yourself. So, my final farewell will be like that of Miss Ting-Yun. I will perform a tuning on myself and return to my complete form. And this also means that 1 week will vanish for good. That's why I said this was the last stop. Is there a possibility that you will be the one who disappears? No. This is a foregone conclusion. But who's to say there won't be any changes? Maybe deep down, I'm also anticipating this possibility.
Regardless of the outcome, you will have a witness. I'll be waiting for you in the audience.
Much appreciated. Now, shall we begin? Anticipating this possibility, you've really changed. In the past, you wouldn't have tolerated any noise at all. I'm about to embark on an unknown journey where it will be impossible to maintain my orderly life. I will have to navigate unexpected surprises, much like today. You're not ready at all, are you? I feel unsettled, maybe even scared. Ever since I left Penacony, I can no longer control everything. Don't flatter yourself. You can't control anything. But isn't that how it is for most people? My fear of the unknown may be a weakness, but your presence has shown me that surprises aren't always bad. Meeting you has been a great help to me, and I'm glad to have discovered this side of myself. I also feel grateful for the opportunity to tell you this in person. I truly dislike you.
What? Are you sure you didn't mean the opposite?
I must admit, many of your qualities strike a chord with me. There are times when I want to joke around, freely express my thoughts, or openly share my dislike of a person. Or my fondness. I want to tell her that I love all her songs.
Then go for it, Sonny. You always talk about locking the bird in the cage, but you're the one who's trapped. Look at yourself. Besides discipline and hesitation, there's nothing else in your life. If you continue living like a slab of marble, you'll break into pieces when you fall.
But I won't become like you. I simply can't. I dislike people who are frivolous. It makes me uncomfortable to even emulate them. If I fail, I will still uphold my principles, such as decorum and stateliness. As for the harmony, my stance remains the same. Whether it's you or the paths, if what I once doubted, or even opposed, becomes the force I must rely on in the future, then this time, my true heart will guide the tuning. I'll leave it to you.
What is this? Leaving your fate entirely up to a coin flip? This isn't like you at all. Did you lose your mind after being run over by the Express? Or were you possessed by that IPC gambler?
Failure is always the best teacher. To save more lives, you must first understand what they live for and what they die for. The best way to achieve this is through personal experience. You see, I'm already starting to make changes. Whether it's us merging or one of us disappearing, I'll leave the tuning to fate, and see if I can embrace all that I detest. Only then will I truly be able to walk among the living, in their world. But what if you can't do it? Well, that's out of my hands. It will just prove that I'm still the same person. The person who always disappoints his sister. Another name for flying. That's why I rejoice at my broken wings. Step into the mortal world to see how it truly is. Then, be born as a human and die as one.
Feeling lucky?
Let's wait and see.
A day of peaceful repose. And with my last breath, I'll join the weak in reaching my hands toward the sky. On the planet of festivities, whatever identities I once had, they no longer matter.
It's not the gods who answer us, but ourselves from the future. I don't have much to say. But as it's time to part ways, here's one last piece of advice. When telling jokes, be sincere. Don't sweat the details, and above all, don't explain them every time. Never mind. Maybe it's no objections from me. This is so annoying. How did I become so dull? Well, despite everything, try not to be too hard on yourself. There will always be people who are sad. Planet of festivities, land of the dreams. I say goodbye to my home. Should one desire to leave the stage for good,
One must first step back onto the stage!
as expected, the trickiest thing is tuning yourself. These dissonant sounds are much too harsh.
I'll see you off.
Hedge your bets. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all. Watch your head.
You need not fade away. Follow me to the stars.
The strength. Weaken through scales.
World cleansing track. You chose the wrong enemy.
Sure, I'll play along.
This mortal form. Watch over you. Guide you on your path.
Save me to a dream.
Weaken through scales.
World cleansing track. I see you all. Disorderly noise.
Watch your head.
Disorderly noise.
Trinity is before me. Is it inevitable to leave?
The dice have been bust. Or maybe I'll take it on.
Disorderly noise.
Watch your head. No dirty
Overcome the thorns! A moment of divine insight arises from enduring patience. This mortal, watch over you, guide you on your path. Sent a steward.
Awaken thorn scales.
World cleansing dragon.
Eternal state.
Hedge your bets.
Heard the call. Trinity is before me.
Awaken thorn scales.
World cleansing dragon.
You chose the wrong enemy.
Down farewell. Sent a storm.
Receive divinity, not threat.
Watch your head.
Overcome the thorns.
I'll see you off.
This mortal, watch over you, guide you on your path.
Awaken thorn scales.
World cleansing dragon.
The strength. Search.
Disorderly noise.
Day, I grant myself departure.
Well, how should I address you now? Mr. Sunday or Mr. One Week?
Whichever you prefer. He's probably mocking me from inside right now. Thank you for accompanying me through all this, Mr. Yang. This farewell journey has come to an end.
What are your plans after leaving Penacony?
At this point, there's no need to hide things from you. I believe there's more to the incident involving the Stellaron on Penacony.
Are you suggesting that the Dream Master wasn't the one controlling the Stellaron?
Don't worry. The Oak family was indeed behind seizing the Stellaron and resurrecting the fallen Eon during the Charmony Festival, and you've already defeated them. But Mr. Gopher Wood once told me that all the Order's efforts were aimed at avoiding the same mistakes that the Harmony made. My guess is that the family from the Montour system must be involved. Unfortunately, too much time has passed to verify that. Penacony is just a small territory, and even the family heads with their authority cannot enter the sacred site of the Harmony and inquire about the true will of the Great One.
worst-case scenario. If Sheepei turned a blind eye, how could the strong defending the weak hold up? Mr. Yang, I just want to tell you this. The Harmony has more than one side. They can be the most steadfast ally of the Astral Express, or the most fearsome enemy.
Well, thank you for being honest with me. The efforts of the crew on Penacony were driven by the same concern. After all this, the Harmony and the Preservation will keep the situation on the planet of festivities in balance. With the momentum from the Trailblaze, more forces will arrive and Penacony will become a public space in the cosmos. Freedom is the only answer the Nameless can offer. I'm glad that Penacony needs it.
You and I both strive for a peaceful society, even if our reasons are different. And you've gone even further than I have. If not for our paths, perhaps you and I wouldn't be in opposition.
Don't sell yourself short. We're not fundamentally opposed. Otherwise, you wouldn't have shown me mercy in front of the Dream Master. This shared journey is my way of repaying you. After all, you are one of my trailblazing goals.
About that, you've given me many insights as well. Humans are the measure of everything, and no one is the sole savior. Creating a paradise remains one of my lifelong ambitions. As I move forward, I realize I must build it brick by brick. Therefore, I have a request that I hope you'll consider. While I lack the will to trailblaze, nor can I become a true Nameless, I admire your convictions. Perhaps what I need, more than asceticism, is knowledge. Therefore, after leaving Penacony, would you consider letting me come aboard the Astral Express and travel with you for now?
So this is why I brought him here. Mr. Sunday wants to join us on the Express. Of course, I can't make that decision alone.
Learn the most valuable lessons from my past opponents. Please, say whatever's on your mind.
Well, you did get nerfed after turning into a good guy, so I guess I'm okay too.
thank you all for your forgiveness. Perhaps I'll find the answer I'm looking for on this journey. And when that day comes, it'll be farewell. Until then, rest assured that I will do my best to fulfill my duty as your companion.
Now that our business on Penacony is settled, it's about time we get back on track and prepare for our next warp jump. Try?
No, we're still not quite there. Indeed, this is only a minor ripple that no one will ever notice. So, you must also understand, for a genius, the importance of asking questions outweighs the importance of the answers themselves. So-called magic has its own set of principles. There are no mysteries in this universe that cannot be solved. So, all-seeing presence, I ask you this. What is divinity?
The tour is over, and it's time for some rest.
Theo Janvin Ch Mabu Hey PH. Said. Wish me luck. Minor unknown. Said. Hello.
This battle is unavoidable. Lend me your strength.
World cleansing dragon.
To guard and defend. Crush them. Feel sticky?
Break. The dead return!
Lend me your strength.
World cleansing dragon.
Lend me your strength. To guard and defend. Crush them.
Rise!
Feel sticky?
World cleansing dragon.
Lend me your strength.
Break!
To guard and defend. Crush them.
World cleansing dragon.
Feel sticky?
Rise!
The tour is over, and it's time for some rest.
Ever since March started learning swordplay from Yenting and Yunli, her voice has been absent on the Express. I wonder how well she's progressing. Where has she been these days?
Before you got here. I already looked everywhere, but March 7th is nowhere to be found. Nope, let's just assume she successfully skipped class. Actually, she's been quite diligent in her swordplay practice and hasn't taken many breaks lately. I think she deserves a day off. Besides, I used to skip classes even more than her back when I was still learning. If I was in the mood, I could train for 3 days straight. But if I wasn't in the mood, none of my seniors could find me. So, I can understand where she's coming from. No need. I asked you to come, so I won't send you away empty-handed. Since you're here, let me treat you to some tasty food. I'm more interested in you today. Let's walk and talk. Chad told me there's tasty food in Aru Valley. Let's go there.
Dumplings and steamed pies.
A table for two, please.
All right, come on in. What would you like?
Well, we'll have one of everything on the menu.
The entire menu?
Do you think it'll be enough? Oh, don't worry. There are two of us.
Well, then I'll start making a few dishes, and if you need more, just let me know.
Thank you. Well, to be more precise, I'm interested in your sword. Yanqing mentioned you before. He said that you're not to be underestimated, and that your weapon has a unique shape. So, I've always been curious about your sword. How the weight is distributed, what material it's made of, whether it contains any special ingenia, and what kind of sword techniques you use. Seriously? A bat? Just the opposite. This is fascinating. So, it really is a baseball bat. Grandpa said that a sword doesn't have to be constrained by its shape, so, in a sense, your bat is a sword too. He also said that a weapon mimics its master, so your bat actually reflects your habits and nature, you know? Let me guess. You're someone who doesn't follow the rules, enjoys improvising, and can handle yourself well against tough foes. Am I right? Amazing, right? And I bet you always say something silly like, rules are made to be broken. I've come across so many sword wielders who acted all righteous and moral, but were really just liars. Their swords always told the truth, though. They told me that their wielders were just a bunch of frauds who relied on their divine weapons for everything. I've hunted down hundreds of swords like this so far, and every single one of them has been melted down. Yes, but only for those who cross the line. Melting their swords is my way of protecting those weapons. But just looking at a sword is not enough. Grandpa always says, words and expressions can be deceiving, but in a fight to the death, a sword's movements never lie. The war dance is just around the corner. You'll be participating, right?
Miss Yoon Lee, for talented sword masters like you, the war dance is a perfect opportunity to show off your skills and make a name for yourself. But for people like him, who have already made significant contributions to the Xianzhou, they maybe don't need to prove themselves on the war dance stage. It has been a while, Mr. Nameless.
And you are?
Thank you for your introduction, Mr. Nameless. I'm Shi Kuei, and I work in the Palace of Astrum as the secretary for the Hellmaster. I apologize for interrupting your conversation. I happened to hear you discussing the war dance, and since this person is an old acquaintance, I thought I'd come and say hello. approaching, many guests from afar are pouring in. Mr. Pavo here is one of them. He's from the distant planet Kalevala. Mr. Pavo's planet recently joined the Pan-Cosmic Trade System. He brought his delegation here this time, not only for business, but also to return something that belongs to the Xianzhou.
Miss Shikwe, the word gift is perhaps more fitting than return. While it did once belong to the Xianzhou, we faced many tribulations to be able to deliver it here, so it should be considered a gift.
I apologize for my poor choice of words. Mr. Pavo's delegation brought a legendary Xianzhou sword that had been lost for centuries. General Huayan plans to personally thank them at the Palace Astrum and present the sword as a prize to the champion of the war dance. Mr. Pavo and I were actually on our way there. Since you two were talking so enthusiastically about the war dance, maybe you'd be interested in joining us at the Palace of Astrum?
Let's head to the Palace of Astrum together. Hmm? Stories and legends. But I know a legendary sword when I see one. Grandpa always asks me to go look at swords with him, but he hasn't said anything about this one. It's really weird. But now that we're invited, let's go and check it out.
The tour is over, and it's time for some rest.
There you are.
Please allow me to offer a sincere compliment, my fair lady. Your beauty is as pure as a snow-white iris. Well, if it isn't my dear friend, glad to meet you again.
Who is this weirdo? Who is this knight?
I am Argenti, a member of the Knights of Beauty. I was invited as a part of the Kalevala delegation to escort the legendary Mieka Kivesa back to the Xianzhou. May I have the honor of knowing your name?
My name is Yun Li.
What a beautiful name. I wonder if you have ever heard the holy name of the pure and flawless goddess Adrilla.
Oh, you're here, Yunli. Didn't expect you to be so well informed. Well, now that you're here, don't forget your manners.
Manners. Come on. You won't find another granddaughter as polite and well-behaved as me.
Well, just remember this is a very serious ceremony. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Mr. Pavo. Now, let the sword gifting ceremony begin.
Before the ceremony officially commences, I want to express my gratitude to the Knight Argenti. Thank you for enlightening us about the sword's origin and for escorting it here safely so that we may complete this ceremony. On behalf of the Kalevalan delegation, I, Pavel Kalistaya, am here to return the legendary Mieka Kifesa to the Xianzhou Alliance, its rightful homeland.
I'm truly grateful for Kalevala's noble act of returning the sword and for the Knight of Beauty's chivalry. Now, as we gather here on the Xianzhou Lofi, I officially welcome the sword back to its homeland. Mieka Kifesa. It's a fitting name for a sword with such a legendary past. I still remember the name engraved on this sword the day it was forged. Gu Yin. It was forged by Han Guang, craftsman from the Zhu Ming's Flame Wheel Forge.
Wait, Hongguang?
Although its blade is worn and cracked, its essence remains as resilient as the Xianzhou Cloud Knights. All it needs is some repairs and polishing by the skilled craftsmen of the Artisanship Commission to regain its former glory. I've decided to entrust this sword, Gu Yin, to the Lofi Artisanship Commission for restoration. Furthermore, it will serve as the prize for the champion of the Lofi War Dance. This sword will be wielded against abominations to protect our homeland and live up to the mission of the Kalevalan delegation that returned it from so far away.
Thank you, General. It is an honor for Kalevala.
Now, esteemed knight and delegation members, please head to the Artisanship Commission, where...
No! This sword was forged by Hongguang.
Yunli! These esteemed guests have brought back your father's work. Where are your manners?
Oh, I didn't realize this sword was actually forged by your father. Returning it to its rightful owner is,
Give me that cursed sword right now! I'll melt away the remnants of that man's curse once and for all!
Don't be rude, Yunli. Apologize to our esteemed guests from afar.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for making a scene. But I have to melt down this cursed sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands.
Yunli, please, go for now. This is exactly why I didn't want Yunli to know about this. I didn't want to create trouble, but trouble found its way here anyway. Could you, please, keep an eye on Yunli for me? That is a tall order, but I'm counting on you. I apologize for the unfortunate interruption. Let us move on with the ceremony.
Unless I'm mistaken, Yunli should be around here somewhere.
Did Grandpa send you to look for me? I bet he did. Just so you know, I'm here just waiting for the perfect moment to snatch that sword. And once I have it, I'll melt it down before anyone can react. Don't even think about stopping me. No one can stop me. Grandpa sent you here. Surely he doesn't want you to help me. Have you heard of cursed swords? That sword is one. I guess that's what it means, literally. A cursed sword lets anyone, even a complete novice, wield it with insane skill. Just by holding the hilt, even the weakest rookie can brandish it with incredible speed and strength. I'm not joking around. And I'm not making up some crazy story. While a cursed sword grants instant abilities to its wielder, it comes at a cost. It's like continuously adding fuel to the forge. With each swing, the sword drains the wielder's blood and essence. Day by day, the fuel will run out, leaving nothing but an empty husk. Soon enough, it will no longer be a person wielding a sword, but a mindless, killing machine, consumed by bloodlust and murderous thoughts. I wonder if you've ever heard of a creature called a heliobus. It loves to feed on human emotions and memories, and excels at manipulating its hosts. There was a lunatic swordsmith who infused metal blades with heliobi, as he was obsessed with turning weapons into living things. And this is how cursed swords were made. I know, I shouldn't have caused a scene at the sword gifting ceremony, but I've thought this through. If I don't make a fuss now, that cursed sword will cause a whole lot more trouble. So it's better if it's me causing the trouble. By the way, aren't they supposed to be taking the sword to the Artisanship Commission for repairs? Why haven't they come out yet? Any ideas? Looks like they're not going to show up here. I'll just head straight to the Artisanship Commission. It doesn't matter why Grandpa chose that sword. I won't let it fall into anyone else's hands. I'll track down every single sword he forged and melt them down one after another. Just like I've been doing all these years. I have to go now.
Is she planning to sneak into the Artisanship Commission and steal that sword? Maybe I should keep an... The Artisanship Commission is so big. Where could she be?
Just a while ago, a girl came up to me, all fierce and demanding directions. She said she's a member of the Artisanship Commission. Do you know her?
no idea who she is. If she really works here, how can she not know her way around?
Oh, I see. That explains it then.
Explains what? It explains nothing at all.
She said something like, I'm a member of the Artisanship Commission. Where do you keep your precious stuff? I got scared and pointed her toward Master Gongshu's warehouse, where he stores his arumatons.
Wait, why did you give her directions? What if she's planning to steal something?
Where else? Like I said, she was headed straight for the warehouse, where all the valuable arumatons are.
Yeah, that place is filled with Master Gongshu's precious arumatons. I bet they'll give her a hard time. What are you doing here? Look, if I get into trouble, it's my problem. I don't want to drag you into it. Fine. Let's smash these metal cans first. Then we can talk.
Dangerous thoughts.
Lend me your strength.
I sense a storm. Heaven surge. Rise! Waketh, dormant skin. World-cleansing dragon. Heaven surge. Break!
You chose the wrong enemy.
We've entered the storm. To guard and defend! Crush them!
I sense a storm. Heaven surge. Rise!
Lend me your strength.
The strength.
That was the last of them. Thank you for helping me out. This place is heavily guarded, but there's nothing but arumatons. Where is the arsenal? Seems like not even those craftsmen know where the arsenal is. At this rate, we won't find anything. And Grandpa might take me away before I can do anything. You're not really here to help me. You're here to stop me, right? No, it's not. Grandpa made a promise to the delegation, and going back on his word would tarnish his reputation and make things difficult for the Lofu. Leaving that cursed sword here will also make things difficult for the Lofu. So all things considered, the best outcome is for me to melt that sword down and take all the blame. You probably think I'm being impulsive and unreasonable, right? Hey, I'm not always like this. It's all because of that cursed sword. Look, I owe you an explanation. But this isn't the best place to talk. We need to find somewhere else. Let me be clear, though. I'm still pretty riled up. This is just a temporary break. I already told you about Guyan. The sword that was returned during the ceremony. It's a cursed sword, with a heliobus inside. And Hongguang, the swordsmith who forged it, is my father. I rarely mention his name to anyone other than Grandpa. Maybe, like you said, I've been avoiding having to talk about him. But as long as my mission to hunt down cursed swords continues, it's impossible to avoid the topic forever. For some reason, I feel like I can open up to you. Honestly, I don't remember much about him. All I know is that the Flame Wheel Forge used to be a bustling place, with people from all over coming to get one of his swords. They called him the greatest master craftsman since Yingxing. I didn't catch all the details, but I do remember seeing him forge those amazing swords, while the visitors watched with smiles on their faces. I used to believe that craftsmen brought happiness to others. The swords crafted by the Flame Wheel Forge are famed across the stars. They possess exceptional sharpness and invincibility. With these legendary weapons, even ordinary people can become skilled warriors, capable of overcoming the most formidable opponents. But then, he became obsessed with becoming a famed swordsmith, and started crossing all sorts of lines. He forged cursed swords that should never exist. And all those people who desired those twisted swords started flooding into the palace. However, just like Grandpa said, those who excel with the sword will eventually suffer by it. The palace is overrun with visitors from afar. Some left empty-handed, others got swords that didn't fulfill their desires, and some even resorted to stealing. And in the midst of all the chaos my father created, he ended up being stabbed by one of the swords he forged. It was so sudden and unexpected. Everything went silent for a moment. All I could hear was the sound of bones breaking and blood pouring out. I was frozen in place, unable to move. It was only when my mother pushed me away from the deadly swing of the cursed sword that I managed to escape. I don't remember much after that, except for the pounding of my heart and the sound of my own gasps of breath. I could hear the smiths in the Flame Wheel Forge shouting, "Run away, Yunli!" and the screams of agony. My tears wouldn't stop, and I couldn't see anything. I kept gasping for air until I collapsed in a pool of blood. If General Huayan hadn't arrived in time, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you now. After that, General Huayan took me in and treated me like his own granddaughter. To me, he is 100 times better than my sinful father. He taught me forging and swordsmanship. Han Guang paid for his sins, but his troubled legacy must not go unchecked. According to the records, he forged a total of 1,382 Heliobus cursed swords, and 182 of them had unique designs.
Beizhu
When I
said,
joined the Flamewheel
Yo.
Forge for training, I made a vow to hunt down all those cursed swords. So
Beizhu
I
said,
found 312.
how was the luck on Fugue?
And Guyan will be my
Minor unknown
313th.
said,
Like all
Hey,
the other
Beizhu.
cursed swords, I'll
Minor
separate from the
unknown
Heliobus.
said,
Then I'll melt
didn't
it down
expect
and
you
make
to
it
show
part
up.
of the blade of forged remnants. I've said my piece now.
Minor unknown
Even though
said,
it'll be tough for Grandpa,
52 pity
I
and
still have
didn't
to
come
melt down
home.
the sword. So
Beizhu
you're
said,
saying,
damn,
even though Grandpa knew it was a cursed sword, he still chose it to be a prize because he thought it wouldn't cause any trouble? No. No matter how I think about it, something is definitely off. Grandpa didn't tell me anything about the ceremony. He must be hiding something. Besides, after our argument today, you want me to go back and talk to him now? No way. At least not today. Maybe tomorrow. Somehow, after talking to you, I feel like I've cooled off a bit. Well, I'll have an honest conversation with Grandpa tomorrow. And I won't take any action against Guyan
Beizhu
until he gives
said,
me his reasons.
I just saw a notification and come.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that in a public place. Anyway, thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Minor unknown
I
said,
should go back to the palace
just saw.
and tell General Huaiyan what happened at the artisanship.
Minor unknown said, well, YT can be SUS.
My granddaughter didn't cause any trouble, did she, young man? Sorry for all this trouble. Yun Li told you quite a bit. Now it's time for this old man to tell my side of the story. Han Guang was my beloved disciple. A rare genius not seen in the Flamewheel Forge since Yingxing. However, talent can sometimes be a curse. He had an unusual fervor for forging, and he dreamed of forging a sword with self-awareness that surpassed that of humans. He believed it would make warriors invincible without any training.
Beizhu
According to him,
said,
while weapons
your
of
live
mass
stream
destruction,
notification.
booming flames and alchemical arrows can destroy many enemies, true victory lies with soldiers who fearlessly fight, ready to lay their lives on the line. Usually, Xianzhou swordsmiths infuse a basic level of awareness into their swords to make them easier to
Minor
wield.
unknown said,
Then, soldiers
yeah,
need
that's
to
why I
experience
said
countless
YT can be
battles to overcome
SUS.
fear and sharpen their
Beizhu
instincts.
said, Minor unknown said, cause it's almost 2.5 hours into stream.
By infusing heliobi into swords, he managed to forge weapons that could grant their wielders strength and valor, and even make decisions for them. However, weapons are different from regular tools. They are meant to kill, plain and simple. After countless battles, all the anger, fear, and bloodlust are soaked up by the heliobi within the swords. The soldiers wielding them not only gain strength, but they also become consumed by the malice,
Beizhu
turning them into puppets
said,
possessed by the swords.
yeah,
No matter how noble Hongwan's intentions were, those weapons, soaked in blood,
Bezu
into cursed swords
said,
eventually.
"What will you do if you don't get Fugue?"
Outworlders got wind of what he was doing and encouraged him to keep forging cursed swords. They came up with all sorts of reasons, from taking back their kingdoms to slaying demons. And you know what happened next. That massacre took
Minor Unknown
lives,
said,
and the lives
"Go
of many
for the Herda
craftsmen
or
in the Flame
Aglia."
Wheel Forge. Yunli managed to survive, but she couldn't escape the horrors of that day.
Minor Unknown
I thought this
said,
sword could be an opportunity.
"I'm planning to build pity on them, so it's fine either way, IG."
All evil.
Bezu
But even the man she
said,
resents so much managed
"You
to
got
forge a
Sunday
true
right?"
Sword of heroes. I also wanted to find a chance to tell her about the history and origin of this sword, but not during the ceremony. As you saw,
Minor
it
Unknown
wasn't a good time.
said, "No."
I've instructed the Artisanship Commission to keep the sword safe in the arsenal. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask the people involved.
Bezu said, "Then Herda will be overall best pick." Minor Unknown said, "Most probably."
Since my granddaughter mentioned talking to me tomorrow, I'll be waiting for her. By the way, you watched over her for quite some time. You must be exhausted, aren't you? I'll be counting on you then.
Time to go back and find that class-skipping March 7th.
Bezu said, "I guess I will grind Genshin today and complete all tribal quests." Minor Unknown said, "In NA." Bezu said, "No." Bezu said, "In Asia."
We will see. journey on. We will see. Come with me, take the journey.
All right, everyone is here. It's time for questioning.
Yun-Li, I'm sure you understand why the official called you here, right?
Yeah? But I didn't steal the sword.
Unfortunately, official Dahao didn't hear Yun-Li's promise. If we don't recover the sword, we will be breaking our promise to the Lofi and betraying the delegation. We're counting on you to find the truth.
Bezuk said, TBH, the main Archon quest will end in 5.3.
We can't just rely on her testimony.
After everything, the sword still got stolen. They should have given it to me from the beginning.
Bezuk said, then the side stories will be covered up.
Everyone involved seems suspicious to some extent. Miss Yun-Li is the main suspect. First, during the sword gifting ceremony, Yun-Li openly expressed her intention to steal the sword. She even mentioned it multiple times. After the ceremony, she broke into the Artisanship Commission and destroyed Arumatons in an attempt to get the sword.
That's true.
The Realm Keeping Commission inspected the arsenal where Gu Yun was stored, and there were no signs of forced entry through the doors or windows. The only possible entrance or exit was a small window gap, just a few inches wide. Hey! It's just a theft. The box containing Gu Yun was opened and the sword went missing. But none of the other swords in the room were touched. Which means...
Yeah, I don't think it was stolen on a whim.
Exactly. The suspect had a clear motive and took only Gu Yun. So, besides the ceremony participants, only the delegation members had access to the sword. So, did you steal it? Then stop joking around.
I can prove that he came to me after leaving the Artisanship Commission, so he couldn't have stolen the sword.
To put it simply, not everyone who's seen the sword has been to the Artisanship Commission, and not everyone who might want the sword has seen it. So, the only remaining suspect is Miss Yun-Li.
Fair enough.
So,
I didn't steal the sword.
Well, when you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. If you want to prove me wrong, better come up with some solid evidence.
Let me gather my thoughts.
Said,
I need to help.
Oh, one more thing.
Did we miss any clues?
Who could have thought that the Mieka Vesa would be stolen?
Said,
and that the Prime
Dan Hung might get another 5 asterisk form.
Regardless, we accomplished our mission, and now it's the Xianzhou's problem.
Minor unknown.
By the way,
said,
why did that girl
what?
Cursed sword? Quite upset.
Bezuk said, yeah. Minor unknown said, oh hell and I. Minor unknown said, no asterisk. Minor unknown said, I'm not ready to become a whale.
let me get something straight.
Bezu
On Kalevala, this
said,
sword has always been
"It will be a
The
fire
first master
type."
of the Mieka Kivesa slew countless demons and then passed it down to a line of the monarchs would heed the guidance of the hero's spirits within the
Bezu
sword and gain
said,
insight into defeating
"Which path I don't know yet."
What is, Helio? The point is that the Mieka Kivesa did help the ancestors of Kalevala build a strong foundation. It's definitely not a cursed sword.
Minor Unknown said, "Damn." Bezu said, "Ready or not, he will come."
Yun Li says she didn't steal the sword, and I am willing to believe her. But I know well that Yun Li can be impulsive, so if she did steal the sword on a whim, I won't show her any favors. You were with Yun Li yesterday, young man, so you have the chance to prove her innocence. Is there anything you need to ask?
Minor Unknown said, "Yeah, dragon comes in pieces."
After the ceremony, Argenti carried the sword case, and together with the delegate. No, she was still mad. I'm counting on you.
Bezu
I received your message
said,
yesterday and went to
"I
the
see."
hospital to check on it.
Bezu
But when I
said,
went back this morning,
"Anyways,
all that was left
IGTG."
was the case. I don't know anything else, so asking more questions won't help, I'm afraid.
Bezu
However,
said,
as the master
"See ya in the evening stream."
Wait, no. I just remembered. My precious aromatons were smashed.
Minor Unknown said, "See ya later."
I don't want to make things stick if I can find that curse. There's something else bothering me. What? I mean...
So, the thief took the sword from the case without picking the lock. Why is this flower petal inside the case?
Have you found any clues?
Thank you.
100% sure. Fine. Let me go through my Throughout the entire incident, there was only one suspect who broke into the Artisanship Commission, and that was Miss Yun Li. Miss Yun Li caused a ruckus at the Artisanship Commission, trying to take away Gu Yun. After bidding farewell to you, Yun Li pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone and stole Gu Yun.
After Yun Li and I went our separate ways, I messaged Master Gongshu to inform him about the incident, and much later, Master Gongshu told me the sword was confirmed safe. So up until that point, Yun Li couldn't have stolen it. Can I prove this?
After bidding farewell to you, Yun Li pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone Wait, you messaged Master Gongshu? I had no idea. Well, that's some solid proof right there. However, it only proves the sword wasn't stolen up to that point.
I didn't...
After bidding farewell to you, Yunli pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone and stole Guyun.
On second thought, maybe let me...
Take your time. My reason... After bidding farewell to you, Yunli pretended...
On second thought...
Take your time. After bidding farewell to you, Yunli pretended to leave, but snuck into the arsenal alone.
On second thought...
Take your time. My reasoning, after bidding farewell to you...
On second thought...
Take your time. After bidding farewell to you,
On second thought...
Take your time. After bidding farewell to you, we haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
Looks like you're missing some crucial evidence.
There are no signs of the arsenal being broken into, so... The only real...
No. The fact that there are no signs of a break-in is suspicious in itself. Which piece of evidence should I use to convince Dahao?
We haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
I carefully examined the lock of the sword case, and there were no signs of tampering or damage.
What does that mean?
As to why the case was never locked in the first place, only the people who delivered it to the Artisanship Commission would know. Plus, I found something else inside the case. Which piece of evidence should I use to further
We haven't found any other suspects or evidence.
I found this in the crevice at the bottom of the case.
A rose petal? Huh. I must have missed it during the search.
I don't know. But I do know that wherever that Knight of Beauty goes, he always leaves behind a trail of rose petals that's almost impossible to clean up.
My thoughts are a mess. Let me sort them out. The sword case was never locked, which is evidence that only someone who delivered the sword could have done that. And the rose petal was probably left behind by that Knight of Beauty. But how did he manage to take the sword from the Artisanship Commission? Why did he steal it after returning it here? And why would he leave that petal in the case?
I know. Guyun flew out of the case on its own. The Knight of Beauty only unlocked the box to aid its escape.
Don't be ridiculous. How can a sword escape from a case on its own?
You've never seen a flying sword before?
I've only heard about the Mieka Kifesa being able to fly in legends. But even if it could fly, why would the Knight of Beauty do this?
Like I said, the sword contains a heliobus. Argenti must have been under the control of the sword. Maybe he was under its control even before you arrived on the Lofi.
Official Dahao, where can we find that knight?
Let me see. The docking location of Argenti's ship. The one and only.
Let's go. We've got to find Argenti before that sword completely takes over his mind.
The tour is over, and it's time for some rest.
I've been waiting for you here for quite a while.
Knight of Beauty. You're the one who stole Guyun, right? Hand it over. You have no idea how dangerous that cursed sword is.
Dangerous? In my humble opinion, real danger is always the hand wielding the weapon. Yes, I did. As a Drilla's knight, I've sworn to live in poverty, and I abhor theft. I had to leave behind a rose petal in order to keep my promise to Master Guyon and uphold my knightly oath.
What? What do you mean?
I agreed to assist Master Guyon in its escape from the Xianzhou. As the person who pulled it from the stone monument, captivated by its beauty, I must not let it down. I couldn't stay in the arsenal to convince the craftsmen, nor did I want to take the sword like a thief. That's why I left behind a small piece of evidence that pointed to my identity in the hope of an open and honest conversation with you.
Whatever your reasons are, you're planning to take the cursed sword away from the Xianzhou. Hand it over to me.
Back then, it was the beauty of Master Guyon that impressed me, so I willingly embarked on the journey to return the sword. But unfortunately, Master Guyon's homeland is no longer the ideal place for it to return to. As a knight of beauty, I must not abandon it halfway.
Oh no. He's completely captivated by the power of that cursed sword. The solution is right in your hand.
Captivated? No, I am touched by Master Guyon's flawless beauty. To be honest, I'm confused why none of you can understand this sword. This is quite heartrending. I've already made up my mind to take Master Guyon away from the Xianzhou.
That cursed sword has messed with your ability to think. But I'll break you free from its grip. I'll shatter its illusion. And the sword itself.
Fair lady, if you're intent on taking away this person, this sword that is under my protection, please engage me with a fair duel according to knightly etiquette. As a representative of this duel, I, Argenti, challenge you. I swear on the spirit of chivalry, in front of Adrilla the Beauty, that I will represent Master Guyon in this duel. If I win, you will allow Master Guyon to leave the Xianzhou with me. And if you best me, Miss Yunli, I'll accept my defeat and turn Master Guyon over to you. Do you accept my challenge, Miss Yunli?
Fine. Let's see whose desire is stronger. Your desire to take it away, or my desire to hunt down all cursed swords. Show me what you've got. You're not going to use Guyon to fight for victory?
Well, I know a thing or two about swordplay. In a proper duel like this, a knight should rely on the skills he's honed day and night.
You're a real weirdo. Lend me your strength.
He sent a storm, heaven's surge. Break! Awaken, dormant skin. World-cleansing dragon. The strength, heaven's surge. Rise!
Confess! Put forth all of it! I underestimate Blue.
Not threat.
This battle is unavoidable. Right. Stars Echo!
He sent a storm. Heaven's surge. Break!
You chose the wrong end.
To the challenge.
Lend me your strength. We've entered the storm. To guard and defend, crush them.
The strength. Awaken, dormant scale. World-cleansing dragon. Heaven's surge. Rise!
Oh, this symbol of pure
Eternal
beauty.
state.
Return! You're fighting a gentleman. Let's put forth all your might.
We must protect.
I underestimated you. I cannot come to pass.
You're not going to use Guyan to fight for victory?
Well, I know a thing or two about swordplay and a proper duel like this. I can rely on the skillful hone the Jade.
Real weirdo.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Do you know who I am? This big diamond! It's all yours! Time to kill!
You chose the wrong enemy.
Confess! I underestimated Bloom.
Repay!
Put forth all your rise to the challenge.
What are you? Great. Stars Echo! Do you know who I am? This big diamond! It's all yours!
I'll see you all.
Time to twirl!
You're fighting a gentleman. Let's time put forth all your
There's every petal and all will be swept away by the wind.
Time to twirl! Do you know who this big diamond? It's all yours! Time to twirl! I hope we're an end to strife in the world.
Put forth all your
Enjoying yourself?
Receive divinity.
Some value, I suppose.
rise, bear witness.
Eternal stay.
And return! Let the duel commence.
May song bring us victory. Harmony and unison.
Confess! Put forth all your I underestimated you.
Time to kill!
For chivalry. I've lost. According to the rules of a knight's duel, I should keep my promise and hand over the sword to you. But before I do that, I hope that you, as the winner, might have the mercy and listen to Master Guyan's past experiences.
This sword has been cursed since the day it was forged. Place it in front of me, and let me destroy it.
Do what she says, knight.
But
you've done so much for me already. It's time for me to face her alone. I'm weary of fighting. I just want to share my past with you. To explain why I wanted to escape. After that, I'll leave my destiny in your hands. Are you afraid to witness my past, little girl?
Afraid? Well, you do have a different aura from other cursed swords. But you're just trying to use my curiosity to lure me in.
Well, you know best that a single touch won't snatch away anyone's sanity.
Fine. Show me your past.
It's already impossible to contact the main Cloud Knight forces. What awaits me will be a long and lonely war.
Follow me.
Is this your memory?
I didn't feel it when I was in the thick of battle, but now it's freezing me to the bone. You're indeed a masterpiece from the Xianzhou Juming. If you hadn't taken control of my body, I probably would have been decapitated in that fight.
Quiet, and stay alert. Boris and Wolf Troopers never give up the hunt.
Hey, just relax a bit. It's been over 300 days since we were both stranded on this planet. The transmitter never rings, so I guess we can't count on that anymore. The people on this planet still use beasts to pull their carts. Obviously, there's no way they can help us fix the star skiff. Looks like we're stranded on this forsaken planet for the rest of our lives.
The rest of a Xianzhou native's life could be terribly long. Are you feeling any desperation? All by yourself in this hostile world?
Yeah, a bit. Perhaps.
When things get too rough for you to handle, just leave everything to me. No need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Yeah, sure. If I really can't handle things anymore, I'll leave my body to you. But now is not that time.
Do you really think you can oppose an entire Borisan army with your limited skills? What are you holding out for?
It's true that I'm stranded here, but it seems like that Borisan pack is in the same boat. By the way, Guyan, do you know what a seed is? A seed may seem insignificant, but with careful cultivation and time, it can grow into a huge, unwavering tree. You said that the rest of a Xianzhou native's life could be terribly long. You're right. That's why I intend to plant a seed named Resistance here, and nurture it for the rest of my life. I want to show the people of this land how to defend themselves against those monsters. I can already see the seed in the eyes of those people.
You really think you can do it? Why not just give me control, and we can revel in the bloodbath together?
What was the memory I just saw?
It was a memory of me and a Cloud Knight, stranded on an unfamiliar planet. We crash-landed on a planet occupied by Borisan. Just the two of us.
I can feel that it was a lonely war.
Intercepting sword technique.
I'm alive. All the young people in the village.
They died for you. They died because of your big promises. Promising them a life free from the Borisan. I tasted their despair before death. They didn't see it coming. And neither will you.
We can't stay here. Let's move on to the next village.
Why? What's the point? You and your sorry excuse for an army have been fighting for over 3 decades, and you haven't won a single battle. What you're sowing is not resistance, but despair. This world is hopeless. It's completely infested with packs of Borisan. You've seen their numbers, and you know their methods. And those commoners you've put your hopes in, they just kneel down and worship the monsters devouring their children and families, calling them their beastmasters. You beheaded one of the beastmasters for their sake, but they turned on you because they were scared of the Borisan taking revenge. You remember all that, right?
I do. I remember my first death. The Borisan cut off my head. But I also remember that if it weren't for a brave youngster who risked his neck to reattach my head and give me a proper burial, I would have disappeared completely. I remember everything the people did for me. They left food at the entrance of my cave, fixed my fur coat, and some even joined my resistance. The rest of the Xianzhou native's life is still terribly long, and there will be new youngsters who will stand beside me in battle. Time is on our side.
You said it was a lonely war. No. It wasn't a war filled with loneliness, but with despair. So much despair that I don't want to ever taste it again.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going, Your Highness?
I'm returning to my homeland. A distant place beyond the sky. I'm not coming back.
But what should we do with you gone? What if those wolf demons show up again?
They won't, my child. You've wiped out the last of them. But before I go, I need you to do one thing for me. Even though the wolf demons are gone, new monsters will appear in this world. Soon, a demon will appear, donning golden branches and knowing only bloodshed. However, fear not, my children. I'm entrusting you with this sword that's been with me in countless battles. Use the skills I've taught you over the years, and you'll surely defeat that last demon. But that's not all. I need you to construct a stone monument for me. It must be large and sturdy enough to seal the remains of that demon forever. This is a debt you owe me, and you must fulfill it. Do you understand?
You lied to them. And you lied to me, too.
Oh?
You promised that you'd give your body to me when you couldn't handle things anymore.
Well, this Xianzhou native's life has finally come to an end, my old friend. How about one last chance for revenge? Come and bid me farewell for the final time.
He had long since come to some understanding. I could sense a mix of intricate emotions flowing out. It wasn't bloodlust, or anger, or fear. What he had left for you was hope.
They've learned how to fight monsters. But there's still one last monster lingering in the world. Kill it, my old friend. You left me there without ever looking back.
Thank you, my old friend. Heliobi can taste human emotions. How do my emotions taste? My old friend.
A hint of bitter compassion and a touch of scalding courage. Your heart's deepest desire is to end war once and for all. Now, the war is finally over. continue here. Even though you can't hear me anymore, my old friend, I'll do everything I can to bring an end to all conflicts in this world.
So, this is the past of the Kalevalan people's Sword of Heroes? You helped the people of that world bring an end to war?
No, I did not. I am a weapon, and I only became the cause of more conflicts. Countless monarchs of Kalevala saw me as a symbol of kingship endowed by nature, and they waged wars in order to possess me. I grew tired of their wicked intentions. I didn't want to kill for anyone anymore. So I returned to the stone monument where my master was buried. And since then, no one was able to remove me from it.
But you allowed Argenti to take you away?
Because even after all this time, I still wanted my master to come home. During the sword-gifting ceremony, I felt anguish when I learned that I would be handed over to the most skilled swordmaster and once again become a tool for killing. My master had engraved his deepest desire into my blade. End war. As a weapon, my purpose was predetermined from the start. I had to become a deadly sword that would relentlessly hack and kill. But once I fulfilled my mission, would I have the right to choose my own destiny like he did? So, I asked the Knight of Beauty to help me break free from this never-ending cycle of bloodshed.
These thousands of years have naturally turned into memories of mine. I think I understand the beauty the knight was talking about now.
I don't want to be a sword that brings death. My war ended long ago. The years spent as a tombstone were my finest.
I've told you everything about my experience with Master Guyan on Kalevala. And now, I'm sure that Miss Yun Li is as moved by the sword's flawless beauty as I was back then.
Even though I had heard the legends of this sword from the delegation, delving into its memories was still fascinating. Yun Li, I trust Guyan's experiences have changed your mind.
It wasn't until I held Guyan in my hands that I could sense its thoughts and unspoken words. I always thought a cursed sword infused with a heliobus would only bring rage and slaughter. I never thought someone could leave behind the desire to end war, and even change the nature of the cursed sword. My position was too extreme. Guyan is truly a sword of heroes. I apologize to all of you for my behavior. I'm sorry.
Now that we've proven Miss Yunli's innocence and found the sword, should we now return it to the arsenal?
No. I'm still going to melt down this sword. I've heard your true desires, Guyen. I can sense that you're tired of being a sword. Constantly serving new masters and fighting battles you no longer want to be part of. Right?
But being a sword is my destiny. I'm doomed to serve some master and fight battles endlessly. Can the wind choose to stop blowing? Can a cloud choose to stop drifting? No. It's the same for me. A creation with a predetermined destiny.
That's not true, Guyen. That nameless swordmaster shaped his own destiny. So you can too.
I just can't picture my destiny being anything other than that of a sword.
Do you remember when you stood alone in front of the swordmaster's stone monument? People admired you because you carried the memories of the hero. You are no longer a sword. You were a memorial.
Later, as I became worn and weathered, the gentle wind would pass through the hollows of my body, creating melodic tones that echoed in the distant mountains. I became a musical instrument then. I miss those times.
Can a creation become what it wants to be? The answer is yes. I'll grant your wish.
Something different.
But this is the prize for the war dance. If the Kalevalan delegation finds out... Please, say something, General Huayan.
Well, my granddaughter has always been stubborn. Are you really sure about Miss Yunli?
What do you all think?
Fulfilling Master Guyen's wishes is the reason I came to the Xianzhou. With the driller's blessing, you could turn Master Guyen into a plow. But as long as it fulfills his wish to end war, I support it fully.
Then, I'll leave it to you, Yunli.
It's been an honor getting to know you like this.
The honor is mine. Thank you, Yunli.
While a long face might you were completely determined to melt...
Grandpa, I melted down the prize for the war dance. How are you going to explain this to the Lofi?
Oh? Am I hearing right? This little girl is worried about her grandpa. Didn't see that coming.
If only I'd talked to you from the beginning, Grandpa. Maybe things wouldn't have escalated like this. But at least Guyen got what it wanted. I have no regrets there.
When it comes to swords, you You and your father are cut from the same cloth. So, are you planning to continue melting down the rest of Hongguang's swords?
Yeah. Guyan is unique. But the other cursed swords are still too dangerous for anyone to handle. But maybe I'll try to be more patient next time.
Be more patient. Well said. Remember what you learned today, because there will be many more situations in the future that will require you to be more patient.
Understood. But what about the prize?
Well, ever since you showed up at the ceremony, I had a hunch. So I prepared another sword as a backup plan. And don't worry, this one has nothing to do with Heliobi.
That's perfect.
By the way, the ambassador from Kalevala and that knight went to Arum Alley. They're looking for a spot to honor the hero. Why don't we go take a look together?
What brings you here?
Well, my granddaughter was inspired by the heroic legends told by the Mieka Kivesa, so she dragged me here to take a look.
I come from a long line of Kalevalim over the centuries of gold before leaving Kalevala.
That sounds good. We Xianzhou people don't make coffins or set up memorials, so I'm sure he would be happy to rest here where life is bustling.
The hero had asked our ancestors to carve something into the monument, so I made a copy of it too. While the inscription is pretty worn with age,
I have drifted far from my homeland and am on the brink of death. Yet, I take solace in having honorably fulfilled my duties. Should you feel compassion for me, kind traveler, please take a handful of soil hence and bring it back to the Lofi. Mr. Pavo, I wonder if that hero ever left a name in your history.
I apologize, but the hero's epic battles happened long ago, and he did not leave any name for us to call him. But in our mythology, He came from the heavens, and so we call him the Cloud Knight.
Welcome home, Cloud Knight.
Now, you can also rest here, Guyan.
Minor unknown said. That will be it for today, chat.